Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I wanted to talk about the new movie, Ordinary Angels. If you end up enjoying this review, please consider giving it a like and subscribing. That way maybe one day I too can be held in the strong arms of Alan Richardson. The synopsis is as follows. A struggling hairdresser finds a renewed sense of purpose when she meets a widowed father working hard to care for his two daughters. With his youngest critically ill and waiting for a liver transplant, the fierce woman single-handedly rallies an entire community to help. So without further ado, let's get into the 6 things that make a movie great. 1. The plot. The plot of this movie follows the true story of the Schmitt family as they deal with very challenging circumstances in their life. Ed's wife Teresa tragically passes away, and then their daughter Michelle comes down with a disease where she needs a liver transplant. Ed is being drowned in bills and is just trying to make ends meet when Sharon Stevens, played by Hilary Swank, reads about the story in the newspaper and decides to try to help. What follows is the incredible true story of Sharon not saying no and trying to help this family make it through this and work a miracle. One of the things I do with movies that are true stories is I look up how true they actually are. And what made me really happy about this movie is not only is it very, very close to the truth, but those it's representing approved of this movie. However, there was a pretty prominent subplot in this movie having to do with a character that was a complete work of fiction. And when I found that out, I was a little disappointed because it didn't need to be in this movie. The first quarter of this movie also is a little clunky in its delivery, but as soon as you get past that, it's a really great story and it plays out well on screen. So for me, plot gets a thumbs up. 2 is family friendliness. Ordinary Angels is rated PG. There's very mild profanity, if any at all, a couple intense moments of medical emergencies, and just a whole lot of really difficult and sad things happening to this family. It doesn't go overboard on anything, and I don't think it's content that a younger audience wouldn't be able to handle at a certain point. And while this is a faith-based film, it's not put in your face as much as the movies like Sound of Freedom or Jesus Revolution. The faith elements in this movie are subtle, and to me that opens up the demographic to a wider audience that can enjoy it. So for me, family friendliness gets a thumbs up. 3 is acting and script. The acting performances in this movie are well done. Alan Richardson kind of takes a backseat for the first quarter of the film, but as soon as he gets on screen, you start to really enjoy his acting performance as this character that I haven't really seen him be before. I also thought the child acting performances of Emily Mitchell and Skywalker Hughes were actually pretty great for child performances. But Hilary Swank stole the show for me. She does an excellent job bringing Sharon Stevens to life, and I haven't seen Hilary Swank on screen in a while, so it was fun to see. And I really enjoyed the script of this movie as well. There was no useless or empty dialogue, everything had meaning, and it didn't seem like any of these interactions were forced or unnatural. This movie did a great job of exploring human emotion and the natural places that you would go when these things are happening. So for me, acting and script get a thumbs up. 4 is character development. The character development in this movie was great. And one of the things I liked most about it is that you don't get it all in one dose at the beginning. It naturally progresses throughout the film pretty nicely. Every single character has more going on beneath the surface than what you see, and they do a good job of balancing it out throughout the entire movie to where you find out more about these characters as you go, and it's nice. Ed being the father that wants to take care of his children and is hesitant to accept help. Sharon wanting to help the family despite what's going on in her own life. Even down to Ashley asking very mature questions and having to grow up really fast. It just was executed very well, and I was proud of a movie like this pulling that off. So for me, character development gets a thumbs up. 5 is visuals and CGI. Obviously in a movie like this, you're not going to see the stunning visuals. It's a great story, and that's what it focuses on. There was really one moment of CGI in my mind that stood out, but it was for a special moment, so it's one of those things you just overlook in the face of a movie like this. For me, visuals and CGI get a thumbs up. And 6 is rewatchability. Ordinary Angels is an hour and 58 minutes long. And while there are certain moments where you can kind of feel that, it's not egregious and you come away enjoying the film. If they would have eliminated that fictional subplot, it would have taken maybe a 10 to 15 minutes out of the movie, and I think it would have flowed a lot smoother and not felt as long. But in general, it wasn't that bad, and this is a movie you can really enjoy. While I wouldn't find myself watching this movie that often, it certainly is a rewatchable film and a very inspiring story. So for me, rewatchability gets a thumbs up. With all these areas considered, I have to give Ordinary Angels a 7.5 out of 10. I wasn't a huge fan of the fictional subplot. There was one moment of shoddy CGI, and the first quarter of the film as far as storytelling goes was a little bit clunky from one moment to the next. But as soon as this movie caught its stride, it was very well done. It was an inspiring story with great acting performances, mature character development, and you were on the edge of your seat cheering for Michelle to survive the entire movie. So if you enjoy faith-based films or just very inspiring stories, I would say Ordinary Angels is worth checking out in theaters. Thank you so much for watching. If you've seen Ordinary Angels, please let me know what you thought about it in the comments below. As always, I appreciate your love and support, and I'll catch you guys and gals in the next one.